There we go. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about my 2017 Audi A4. So today's an exciting day because it's also my little brother's graduation from college. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to do this video really quickly, but I really wanted to talk about my favorite piece of tech, which is of course my 2017 Audi A4. This was my first luxury vehicle purchase. Before this, I had a used 2002 Volkswagen Jetta, which I loved. After that, I purchased a 2011 Volkswagen Jetta. I basically graduated from like one vehicle to like the more grown-up version of it. 2011 Jetta was new when I purchased it, and I absolutely loved both of those vehicles. They were so cute. They were really reliable. I never had any issues with them for the most part. And they were just really nice A to B cars. Minimalist inside, which I personally appreciate. I still have the 2011 Jetta. I gave it to my brother who's graduating today from college. Congratulations, Chris. But yeah, I love everything about this car. There's very little that I don't like about this vehicle. And I think that's one of the reasons that I have continued to drive it, and I will continue to drive it, for the next few years. I really can't see myself switching at the moment. So let's talk about what I really like about this car. I really love the exterior styling of this vehicle. I think it's elegant, but also a little bit understated. I love the way this vehicle looks. I love the hard lines of the vehicle, which I think are mostly attributed to the S-line styling. So they've changed the front of the vehicle a little bit on the 2021 models. The headlights are a little bit different, but I think if you get this car, you really do need to get the S-line because it gives the vehicle a little bit more of that angular look. It has a little bit more angular styling in the grille than the regular base model. This vehicle has a confident stance without being too ostentatious, which I appreciate. You can feel the designer's intent behind every line. It gives the car a great sense of motion, and it just presents so well on the road. So the face of this car is one of my favorite things about it. The mix of hard angles and geometric shapes, especially in the headlights, give this car a very aggressive look, and it's just something that I really love, especially the shape of the headlights. I think they're so cool to look at. People may tell you that Audi's exteriors are boring, but I could not disagree more. I think it's all about preference and taste, and this is my taste. I think in the A4, simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication. Paint colors can really make or break a vehicle, especially when you have a car in white, but I think that this car looks beautiful in all the colors that it comes in. I really love the color that I chose, which is Glacier White Metallic. It's beautiful in person. This is a really dynamic shade of white that shows off the curves and the lines of the vehicle really well. And I also think that the Glacier White contrasts really nicely with the matte black interior that I've chosen. So distinct lights are something that Audi is known for, and the full LED headlamps and taillights that I chose are so cool to look at night. They are beautiful in person, and they really make the front of the vehicle. At night, they project a really clear white light on the road that outshines every other vehicle's headlamps. Not to mention, the dynamic taillights on this car are so cool. It is one of my favorite features. And every time I turn the turn signal on, I'm jealous of the people behind me because I'm like, that's a pretty cool thing to look at. So let's talk about the interior of this vehicle. If I wasn't already sold on the exterior, the interior would have done it for me. It is so elegant. It is such a nice, quiet, comfortable place to be. And the ergonomics of this car are unbeatable. I chose the black leather with the ash wood inlay and this nice matte black console. I think this is a really nice combination. There's something about the black on black for me that just I love. Yeah, everything in this car is just so nice. The seats are so comfortable. The steering wheel is well proportioned. It feels good. That's a nice thing about Audi is some of the materials in this vehicle are not as high quality as you might expect. However, you don't notice it because Audi really knows how to make these materials look expensive and feel expensive even when they may not be. And that's something that I appreciate. The design of this vehicle and the thought that went into every single facet of the car, it just makes it a really enjoyable user experience. So for example, there is a little cutout here in the console specifically for the key. This has a keyless start stop, which is really nice. And I just think it's really thoughtful that they put a place specifically for the key. One thing that Audi did in the new A4 is, well, in all of them, is they took out the scroll wheel. And I'm kind of sad about that because I actually really like the scroll wheel. It's very tactile, feels really nice to use it as a beautiful click. Everything in this car has a nice sound. You know, all of the switches are very, very nice to use. If you listen to this switch, this is the switch for the air conditioning. And then this switch to turn the temperature. I love it. I love that attention to detail. A lot of the buttons in this vehicle are touch sensitive. The dome lights are touch sensitive. The radio programming buttons are touch sensitive, though I never use the radio. I just connect my phone to CarPlay and I use Spotify. The silver buttons on the dash that control the air conditioning unit are all touch sensitive. Another thing I really love about this car is the digital cockpit. When I first purchased this vehicle new in 2017, this feature was new to the market and it was so cool, so futuristic. When I first sat in this vehicle and all of the screens turned on and all of the lights came on, because this car is really lit up, like everything has a light on it, which is pretty cool at night. I just felt like I was living in the future. I thought it was so cool and I was so excited to drive it and use it, and it just made me so happy because as a tech person, seeing all of this technology was just so alluring. This vehicle has a lot of safety features. It of course has all of the proximity sensors in the front and the back. It has a good backup camera. It has a really cool lane departure feature. It has my absolute favorite thing, which is the blind spot monitor. I've been in a few cars that have blind spot monitors, and I've noticed that the light that comes on the side mirror is incredibly small, almost unnoticeable. And like, what is the point of having a monitor that you don't even notice? On the Audis, the blind spot monitor, the light for it is huge. It's so big that you don't even have to look. You can see it out of your peripheral vision. So I really appreciate that. It's really handy. I trust it. It always works. It never malfunctions for me. Please don't ever malfunction. It's just a really great feature, and it has saved me a few times, you know, merging on and off of the highway with people in my blind spot. Like, it has definitely saved my butt. Another thing I really, really love is in the backup camera, I have a cross traffic alert. So what that is if you are backing out of a parking spot or backing out of anything and you can't see if there's any cars coming, don't worry, because the car can see it. If there is somebody who's coming up on you while you're backing out and you don't see them, the car will give you a little alert on whichever side that the vehicle is approaching from, and it will beep and tell you to stop. And if you don't stop, the car will stop for you. But you don't want to get to that point, because when the car stops for you, that automatic emergency brake, it scares the crap out of you. Another really interesting thing is once I was sitting at a stoplight and I was in the left-hand turning lane and there was a vehicle approaching from behind and they were going extremely fast and they weren't quite in their lane, and my car sensed that their trajectory was on a collision course with the back of my vehicle. I didn't notice it, but the car noticed it, and all of a sudden the radio lowered, the alert came up on my dash that, you know, an impact was about to occur. The seatbelt tightened, the windows, I don't know if they rolled up or rolled down. I think they rolled up. Overall, the vehicle prepared itself for impact. The impact never happened. The person corrected and realized that they were too close, thank goodness. But I was just so impressed with the preparation for impact. I was also freaking out, but it was so quick. It happened in a split second, and the car, in a split second, did all of this preparation for impact. And it was just so comforting to know that I have this feature, and I didn't even really know about it. And I hope I never have to actually use it again. So this car comes with the cold weather package, which I was really excited to get because it came with a heated steering wheel, which to me was just the coolest thing ever. I've never had a car with a heated steering wheel, so this was really exciting. So I have seat heaters in the front and in the back of the vehicle, which is really nice for the people who sit in the back. Oh, and the side mirrors also have a heating function, which is pretty common in a lot of cars, actually. I have a sunroof that I never use, but it came with the vehicle. You literally can't buy one without it. So like I mentioned, the car is really lit up at night. Almost everything in the front has a light on it. The cup holders have an interior light. The door panels have lighting. The exterior door handles have little lights under them, which is really cute at night. And I love the like contrasting blue and orange lights that Audi uses in their vehicles. I think it looks really, really sleek. I also really appreciate that the rear view mirror is frameless. I think it looks so sleek. And I think that's another area where Audi has paid attention to the look and feel of an item, whereas other car manufacturers would just slap any old rear view mirror up there and, you know, call it a day. But they really paid attention to every facet of this car. Another really nice thing is the Bang & Olufsen sound system. I didn't think that this would make a huge difference, and I was very wrong. The minute that I had to turn this in to get serviced, they gave me an A4 premium model with just a standard speaker system, and you can tell the difference. It sounds so much clearer. It's a much more robust sound. It's just a really nice speaker system, and I highly recommend it over the standard system that comes with the vehicle. The keys for this vehicle were presented to me in a really nice matte red box, and they match the vehicle. They have a nice matte black soft plastic on them. There's one downside is that they easily dent. I tend to keep the keys in my purse and I never take them out anyway, so that's fine. But if you drop them, I did drop one of them, they do dent easily. So let's talk about the drive. Driving this car is really nice. It is so smooth. It is so quiet. You hardly hear any road noise in this car. And that's another thing that you don't notice until you get out of it and you get into another vehicle and you're like, oh my God. It's just very quiet, very pleasant, calming place to be. I think I've said that like 10 times over the course of this video, but it really is a very serene place to sit. So this model has quattro, and really, if you get an Audi without quattro, what are you doing? Like, come on. It's really great. It's all-wheel drive for those of you who are not in the know. I've used this in rain, snow. There's really nothing wrong with it. It handles really well. It's very smooth. The only issue I have noticed, occasionally when you go around a corner and you put your foot down as you turn that corner, the car experiences some amount of turbo lag. So you put your foot down and almost nothing happens and you're like, what's going on? That's a weird feeling, and I'm not really sure what the deal is with that. It doesn't happen every time, but when it does happen, you notice it. This car has a decent amount of pickup. This is the Premium Plus model. It's a 2.0 turbo, which is, you know, pretty standard. It does a respectable 0 to 60 in 5.4 seconds, which is, you know, fine for what it is. This is a sedan. It's not a sports car. It's meant to get you from A to B very comfortably, and it absolutely does that. You can put it in sport mode for when you need that extra pickup. Sometimes I do that when I'm merging onto highways, but for the most part I keep it in comfort mode because it's just a nice, comfortable ride. Another thing I really like about this car is that when you lock it, the side mirrors fold in. I just think that's a really cute feature. I think that the side mirrors are the ears of the car, so I always think it's really cute when it tucks its ears in after I lock it. Oh, and the rear trunk has a kick to open feature. So you just like kick your leg underneath the back of the vehicle and the trunk opens. I don't use that a lot because I just forget that it's there. But it is handy when you have like a ton of groceries in your hand and you just can't, you know, use them to open the trunk. I think that's basically it. I love this vehicle. I love looking at this vehicle. When I park it in a parking lot, I always turn around and look at it. And I think that's really important. If you're gonna spend as much money as these cars cost, you better love the car. Every day I wake up, even after, what has it been, 3 years or 4 years? Even after 3 or 4 years of owning this car, I still wake up every day and I'm excited to drive it. I will keep this car for as long as I can. I may even never sell it because I just love it so much. It's beautiful, drives really nicely, and I feel like it's an extension of me. When I drive this car, I drive this car. I can't say enough good things about it. If you're considering getting an Audi, go for it. It's just a good car. If you're looking for something that's elegant and just makes for a pleasant driving experience, this is the car. All right, well, I will see you next week. And I'm gonna drive this thing to Starbucks and get a treat.